she also taught me what life was all about. Thank you. Just a second.
She's
Not necessary, not necessary. I'm just squeezing coconut. That's all. Something simple.
she's squeezing coconut milk to invoke the blessing of the lady who taught her how to cook and looked after her and myself when we were children.
This practice is very healing, it's comforting, it's relaxing. And it's something that I learned as a 4-year-old child in my mother's kitchen. And I'm hoping that Amma will give us her blessing as we do this, before I talk about her. And now, this book on dining with dragons. The dragons are the women, the strong women who gave me the strength, gave everyone strength, energy, and life to all of us. We went through many, many different stages of our life, through illnesses, through war years, through emergency, but always these women had multitask for us. They were brave, they were energetic, and they were respectful of customs and culture and cuisine. The lorong, I lived in this fabulous little lorong, Raja Muda in Klang. A tiny little place, there was a microcosm of all of us. We lived, I'm taking you back to the days when we were kids, when I was a little child. You could go into someone's house and go by the back door. There were no doors there in those days. The back door was always open. You could taste someone's food, taste someone, Auntie, what are you cooking today? And there was always something. Come and try this. Do you want to eat this? You don't want. That doesn't matter. You can have something else. And that was always there. There was always the time also. You could ask the aunties, I'm ill today. What can I have? Someone would give you ginger water. Someone would take a bit of ginger, plaster it on your shoulders or your brow, and soon after that you'll be fine. And then we went off to the war years. The war years were very, very frightening. I was a very little child. I saw bombing. It was frightening. And when the Japanese came, it was intolerable. We just didn't know where we were going to be. But somehow or other, we survived it. And when the war was over, it was fabulous. Because all of a sudden, we saw planes going across above us. And my father said, keep quiet. Don't even say they're British planes. Forget it. Don't even talk about it, because if we get caught, if someone says something to us, that'll be the end of all of us. But then, 2 days later, someone told us, hey, come to Morig. Morig is a tiny little beach town. We used to have our most wonderful holidays in Morig. And someone said, come to Morig. So we jumped on a lorry that was going back to the rubber estate close to Morig. And there I was, we saw the most amazing things. There was this boat right in front of us, and it was open. The hold was open, and there were people spewing out of it. And I said, that's Jonah's whale, that's Jonah's whale. And someone said, shh, keep quiet. But we were still scared, we didn't know, but we were still not liberated yet. And we were waiting to see what was happening. But that was the enjoyment. We saw the boats coming, and then we saw lots of soldiers coming, the Indian Army, and later on Mountbatten, and that showed us. And another thing that they did was they gave us supplies of biscuits, cheese. My first taste of chocolate was at this time. Of course, it was exciting, but my Amma looked at the coffee. We had never had coffee for 5 years, 5 long years. She took the pot of coffee, she took the little can of coffee grounds, put it in a pot and boiled it. And that boiling, the lovely aromas of coffee passed through every cranny of the house, and all our neighbors came, our friends came, and somehow or other we had enough coffee for everyone to taste, just a little bit. And that coffee taste, even today, reminds me of freedom. Freedom from fear, freedom from anger, freedom from just the idea that we could talk openly, we could walk openly in our streets, and even the women started walking very, very calmly and went shopping for the first time in their lives, because this was freedom that the British had brought from us, and we had this most wonderful time. And this is what I want to tell you about. Today, coffee reminds me of freedom. I've done a lot of researching the Methodist Church, because the Methodist Church was where my mother grew up. She was a Hokkien. She was an orphan, and she was brought up by Hokkien Chinese, and she was physically Malaysian, looking Indian, but emotionally, psychologically, she was Hokkien, Baba Hokkien. And she spoke Hokkien all her life. She got married and married my father, put on a sari, but never managed to speak Tamil. The Tamil was atrocious. And all her friends chatted away in Hokkien. That was what we enjoyed most. And the food was wonderful. It was Nonya food we were eating. And my grandfather came from Sri Lanka. He also looked after lots of estate people. He became a pastor and looked after. He developed a lot of the schools, tiny little churches, and spoke to them in Tamil. And he was terrified that people were not going to look after the church, the laborers, because the laborers were at that stage being put into lines. A line is like 4 odd houses put together, separated, and the wells were close by. And the wells meant that if it went too close to the houses, they would be drinking water which was closer to the toilet. The dragons were my mother, my Chinese ama, and all the ladies, all the aunties. There are a lot of aunties who were all orphans. And the orphans were the ones who were actually, in that era, in the 1930s, gone into careers. The missionaries opened their doors for them. The British government opened doors for them. Because at that time, they were creating a lot of jobs in schools, in hospitals, and all these women went in. And ironically, what's interesting is the richer women who came from very wealthy homes all got married. And they became taukenyos somewhere and never were heard of after that. They looked after their children, enjoyed themselves. But the orphans were the ones who created careers for themselves and went ahead to become interesting people, strong people to develop Malaysia. And this is what this book is about. Remembering the past, enjoying the past. Or else, if you forget the past, that's the end of our lives. Because the past is something that creates what we are today. It gives us strength, it gives us energy, it gives us wisdom. And so there's Dining with Dragons. Enjoy yourself reading it. It's funny, some parts are very funny, some parts are heart-wrenching, some parts are traumatic. But that is what life is all about. And this is a book about life, about time and a place of ordinary people leading extraordinary lives. So I give you Dining with Dragons.